reminded you'll see me through. My confidence is in you, Lord. I'm not gonna worry, it'll all work out when I'm in your presence. I'm reminded you'll see me through. 'Cause you're holy and you're perfect, and there's nothing that you can do. And you're able, and you're willing. There's no mountain that you can move. My confidence is in you, Lord. I'm not gonna worry, it'll all work out when I'm in your presence. I'm reminded you see me through. Yeah, you're holy, 'cause you're holy and you're perfect, and there's nothing that you can do. And you're able, and you're willing, and there's no mountain that you can move. So I'll rest in you, I'll trust in you. You are my strength and my confidence. I'll rest in you, I'll trust in you. You are my strength and my confidence. are my strength and my confidence. I'll rest in you, I'll trust in you. You are my strength and my confidence. I'll rest in you, my confidence. I'll trust in you, my confidence.
Hey, welcome to the house. My name is Wes. My wife Vanessa and I, we're the lead pastors here, and wherever you're watching from, we just want to say welcome home. We are so glad that you're with us for the last Sunday of the year. I mean, this is it. You've got like 12 hours left of 2023, and this year has gone by so fast. And next year will literally be here just in a few moments away. Hey, today we have a special live in-person service. And so if you're watching this early in the morning and you're here in Los Angeles, get in your car and come on out. We'll throw the website, thehousela.org. You can check that out for service time directions. We would love to see you. Also, if you wanted to learn more about who we are, what we're about, who we're connected with, and what we believe about God and the Bible and God's plan for you, you can also check out thehousela.org. Hey, next month we're starting up a whole time of 21 days of prayer and fasting. We would love to have you be a part of that with us. If you're here in LA, or also if you're outside of LA, saying, hey, I want to be a part of those 21 days of prayer and fasting. And then we're going to culminate. We're going to end that 21 days of prayer and fasting with our anniversary service and a very big just worship and ministry night for pastors and leaders, where we're just going to pray for all the pastors and leaders in our city that want to come. We're just going to bless them, but it's going to be an awesome worship and ministry night. Just a huge worship night. We'd love to have you come check that out. And that's going to be on the last Sunday of January. Hey, a couple weeks ago, we had a message here in the church about faith for finances. Faith for finances. And actually, we got really good response from people on that message. And so this is a little bit unique of what I want to do today, but actually I want to go back to that message. Back to that message on faith for finances. Because I believe that God has something special for you in 2024 for you and your finances. And it's best that you get prepared for that ahead of time. So in this message, we talked about some faith points, but we also talked through some practical points as well. So without further ado, I'm going to throw to the message, and then I'll see you right after the message. Today, we're doing a one-off message that I just really felt like I wanted to prepare our church as we're going into this season. Now, in the month of December, we're starting up a brand new series called Sabbath, a Christmas of Rest. Sabbath, a Christmas of rest. And we're doing all kinds of different things where instead of just the hustle and bustle and running and just driving, we're going, no, this season is about Jesus. It's about Him. It's about what He's doing in His glory. And so we want to celebrate Him. We want to rest in Him. We want to trust Him. And so in preparation for that today, I really feel like the Lord wanted me to talk today on faith for your finances. And you may ask, wait, faith for finances right before Sabbath? Yes, faith for finances right before Sabbath, because as we get into December and January, some of the key stresses that people have in their life is revolving around money. Now, finances and family, those are some of the top things, especially like, hey, Wes, I just got done having Thanksgiving with my crazy uncle or my weird aunt or my brother that owes me money and I'm frustrated about. Family can be one of those top stressors. Another stressor could also be with money. Recently, I saw this video, and this young guy, he's driving a boat on what looks like a kind of a big lake. He's driving the boat on this lake, and he's driving it slow, and it's got this big wake off the back of the boat. And so he's going to do something called wake surfing, where you're off the back of the boat. Maybe you're about the distance of maybe you and I, right? Or me and this camera, just about 6 feet or so. And he jumps off the back, and he's holding onto the boat, and he's just kind of like riding the wave, but the camera is mounted to the boat, and there's no one in the boat. He's just out there by himself, fully confident in his ability. He's just kind of holding on. He's having a good time. And I'm sure it's worked 1,000 times. But that day, my man fell and the boat just kept on going. The boat just kept on going. When it comes to people's faith and their finances, a lot of people's faith is like that boat, and it's just driving itself off into the sunset. And it's going to shipwreck on some shore, or it's going to hurt somebody, or it's going to run into something else. Something bad is going to happen because no one is actually driving the boat. Let me ask you this question today. What determines your faith? Or I could flip it, and I could say, what determines your anxiety? Is it the economy? Is it the news? We're entering a political cycle right now here in America. We've got elections coming up. In literally about 1 year from now, we will vote as a country on the next president. And during those political cycles, you'll see if there's fear, and they always do the same commercials, right? They show the other guy and it's black and white, and there's like this eerie music. So-and-so said this about that. And then the music gets bright and the colors get bright, and they're like, but our candidate says this, so-and-so robbed money from puppies. It's always like something fearful, and the other guy's like, but this person adopted 1,000 cats. You're like, that's weird, but okay, I guess the cat guy gets my vote instead of the gal or the guy who robbed from puppies or something like that. But those political cycles, they feed on fear as well. What determines your anxiety? What is that driving force of that boat of your life that causes your heart rate to spike and your anxiety? Maybe you're thinking of it right now. There's certain news articles or there's certain news stories that when I see them, I can feel my blood pressure rising. Maybe you're that way as well. You can feel the anxiety start to rise. Fear speaks. I don't know if you know that, but fear has a voice, and it's always talking. It's always, oh man, if you didn't know about the mortgage rates, man, they're at 6 and 7, and it's gonna be, I heard it's gonna be 1,000%. In the economy, and then it's funny. I've seen recently 2 headlines like side by side that said the exact opposite thing about the exact same topic. And it was like, choose your own adventure, and whatever you're afraid of, you're like, home prices are going up. I can't afford it. Oh my goodness, home prices are going down. The economy's collapsing. And it's like, and you can choose your own adventure in that. Fear speaks, but let me tell you something about this. When you're driving that boat, if nothing else is driving it, fear wants to drive that boat of your life. Fear wants to drive that boat of your life and grab that steering wheel of your life so that it can make the decisions for you, so that you're just off in that lake behind, trying to swim and catch up, and you'll never catch up because fear is driving. Fear speaks, but you know what also speaks? Faith speaks. 2 Corinthians chapter number 4, verse 13 says this, but we continue to preach because we have the same kind of faith that the psalmist had when he said, I believed in God, so I spoke. I believed, so I spoke. What I believed in my heart, I confessed with my mouth. I believed. And so Paul's like, we have that same kind of faith. There's a faith that comes, and it's not just like, just a faith that's in your heart. They go, now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul. And you're just praying it quietly in your heart. No, faith that arises out of you that says, I'm not going to let the boat of my life or the boat of my finances, go off into the sunset by itself. No, faith speaks. Faith says stuff like God is in control. Faith said things like, God can bless me wherever I am at. Faith says things like, if God provided manna for 1 million Israelites in the desert, surely he can take care of me. Faith sees scriptures like in Genesis 26, Isaac planted his crops that year in a time of famine, and he harvested 100 times more grain than what he had planted, for the Lord blessed him. It's like, oh, that's so much. It gets better. The Bible says that he became a very rich man. His wealth continued to grow, and he acquired so many flocks of sheep and goats, herds of cattle, and servants. Everything grew that the surrounding people got jealous. In a time of famine, Isaac planted and grew and prospered so much that it created a jealousy in his enemies' hearts. How about this? Faith speaks. Proverbs 3 verses 9 and 10 says this, honor the Lord with your wealth, with the best part of everything that you produce. Let me stop right there. Some people think that they're not wealthy, and I would just venture to say that most people would not say that they are wealthy. I know people that go, dude, you're wealthy, and they go, nah, I'm not that wealthy. Like, when I get to this next level, I'm wealthy. The fact that you and I are watching this on a digital device, you're watching this on a laptop, on a smart TV, on a phone, that's $1,000 or something like that. We are wealthy to the rest of the world. So let me just kind of put that in perspective for all of us. Most of us don't think that we're wealthy, but we are in retrospect to everyone else around us. But the Bible tells us we should honor the Lord with our wealth. This is what will happen. Then he will fill your barns with grain, and your vats will overflow with good wine. You're like, hey, Wes, I don't have any vats, and I don't have any good wine. Let me just tell you this way, good things will happen in your life. Just honor the Lord with your wealth and the best part of everything that you produce. Some people want to give God their leftovers. One time when I was a youth pastor, someone at our church was like, hey, I just want to bring a donation by the church. I'm like, that's amazing. That's great, because we were helping start this church up, and it was in a small town, and we didn't have much money. Everything was, we just had to make it happen. There was like, what's the budget? The budget is $0, and these two hands, go paint a wall or something. So it was like, hey, pastor, I just want to bless the church. I'm like, that's amazing. That's great. Like, what is it? And they're like, we want to donate some carpet. I'm like, that's amazing. One of the youth rooms and one of the kids' classrooms, we didn't have any carpet in there. Great. So we started asking some more questions. They go, yeah, we have this old carpet at our house. And I go, okay. And they go, we're getting it replaced with new carpet, and we just wanted to bring the old carpet here and just wanted to bless the church with it. I'm sure their heart was in the right place, but I just go, wait a minute. That doesn't sound like honoring the Lord with the best part of everything that you produce. That sounds like I want to avoid a dump fee. That's what that sounds like, and call it generosity. Proverbs tells us, no, give God your best. Honor him. And then he says, your barns will be filled with grain. And it's like, okay, you and I, most of us don't have barns, but we do have bank accounts. We do have other things. Maybe you've got, business things like that. And he says, hey, those things are going to go well. So fear speaks, but faith also speaks. Faith says things like, it's going to be okay. God's got me. He provided then, and he'll provide now. I've been young, and now I'm old, yet I've never seen the righteous forsaken, nor his descendants begging bread. I am blessed. God's got me. I will live and not die, and I will declare the works of the Lord. Faith speaks. But you know what else also speaks? Wisdom speaks. And this is where I just kind of put on my pastor hat as we're looking forward to this Christmas season. And as we're looking forward to the new year, wisdom also speaks. Because sometimes in the church, if I can be honest, some people go, we don't go fear, we only go faith, and you just got to preach it, and you got to give, and that's all you got to do. And I go, yeah, that's good. But what about wisdom? The Bible also tells us that wisdom speaks. Wisdom's got something to say. Wisdom says this in Proverbs 1. We just read from Proverbs 3, but if you back up 2 chapters, Proverbs 1 says this, wisdom shouts. Wisdom shouts in the streets. She cries out in the public square. She calls to the crowd along the main street, to those gathered in front of the city gate, come, listen to my counsel. I'll share my heart with you, and I will make you wise. Wisdom also speaks. So who gets to drive that boat? Is it fear, or is it faith and wisdom? Faith and wisdom, they work together. Faith says God's got us, and wisdom says here's the steps that we are going to take together. Let me give you just a couple of financial wisdom thoughts here, especially as you're going into December and as we're going into the new year together. When it comes to your finances, wisdom says things like, have a written budget. Save for a rainy day. Get out of debt. Live within your means. It means that, you don't have to buy a car that makes it look like you're doing super duper well. Just live within your means. Or this last one, honor the Lord with your first, with your best. So have a written budget, have a plan, write it out. If you're married, talk it over with your spouse. Save for a rainy day. It's going to happen, okay? Get out of debt. The Bible says that when you're in debt, you're actually a slave to that person. They kind of get to control the mechanisms of your life, telling you what you can and can't do. Get out of that. Live within your means. We don't have to impress anybody. God has a plan for your life, and go according to that plan, and then honor the Lord with your first. Maybe you've never given before. Maybe you've never joined in that journey of generosity, of tithes, where you go, God, that first 10%, not 2%, not 1%, that first 10%, that belongs to you, and I want to honor you with my first tenth. God, I'm gonna test you in it. By the way, it's the only thing in the Bible that God says, test me in this. Try it out. See what happens. Like God's like, I will give you a money back guarantee. Money back guarantee. Some of this, by the way, sounds like grandma's wisdom or grandpa's wisdom, but maybe grandma or grandpa knew something when they said save for a rainy day or have a written budget. As we go into this Christmas and this new year, let's be a people, let's be a church that are led by faith, and let's be a church and a people that are led by wisdom. Jesus, thank you so much for all my friends. God, I'm praying that they had a great Thanksgiving, but that as they enter into this Christmas season, that they would be people who are led by faith and who are led by wisdom. In Jesus' name, amen. I hope that message encouraged you like it's encouraged me and so many other people as well. Hey, listen, we want to help you in your journey of following Jesus. And if you're new to your journey of following Jesus, if you're considering or thinking about, hey, I want to learn more about what that means and what that means in our context, we would love to help you in your relationship with God. So check out thehousela.org. Come to a service, a live in-person service. We'll give you a hug, a fist bump, a high five, a cup of coffee, hear your story, tell you a little bit of our story as a church as well. But we want to help you in that journey. No one is meant to be on the journey of following Jesus alone. And as you go into 2024, you don't want to go on that journey of following Jesus alone. We would be honored to be a part of that community that's helping you and encouraging you in your walk with God. Lastly, I want to say a huge thank you to those of you who have generously given to this church and to this ministry in 2023. It was a very difficult year, but it was also a very beautiful year in so many different ways as well. It's like where Paul tells the church of Corinth, hey, that there's this great and effective door that's been opened up, but there are also many adversaries. And so this year for us as a church was such a beautiful year, and there's some difficulties, but the beauty of it was just, it was incredible. And I just want to say thank you so much for your generosity. Now, I want to challenge you in this, that for our tax year that is ending today on the 31st, if you want to get in any kind of tax donation giving, you've got to get it in before the end of the day. So check out thehousela.org/give to make sure that happens. But the encouragement to you is this: as we go into 2024, let's make a commitment that we will be a generous people in 2024. One of the ways that I do that personally is actually I've set up my generosity to be reoccurring. And that just means that I know next month that on the 2nd or the 3rd of the month, I just know that there's going to be a charge on my credit card because I know that I want to be generous in January, in February, and in March, and in April, and throughout the end of the year. I know that I want to set up my giving to be reoccurring because I already know ahead of time that I want to be generous in my giving. So would you consider joining me in that reoccurring giving for 2024? Just set it and just say, God, I want to trust you with my finances for 2024. Hey, I can't wait to start up this brand new year with you, your friends, your family, as we go after God together. 21 days of prayer and fasting, a big worship night, together, and we'll see you back next week here at the house.